Hello Stampers, this is Jilly Bling. How are you? Are you ready for something a little bit different? I usually don't do things like this. Usually I tend to pile stuff onto the project. This is using Apple Harvest. It's a stamp set that is a standalone stamp set, no dies coordinating with it. But you don't need them, and it's great for coloring in. And some reason this stamp set just stamps beautifully. I'm sure that they planned that. I don't know what they did. But every image I stamped using the words and the apples, the images, they turn out perfect. So here's the first card. Isn't that just sweet? Very nice, very fresh, very crisp. Then this one I used Parakeet Party. This one I used Old Olive, a little bit more traditional. And I'm using a few retired items, greetings. You could use any greetings you have to recreate these cards. Isn't that pretty? This one has Old Olive leaves. And each of them, the apples are just slightly different color. This one, it is red. This apple is sorbet and cherry. And finally, this one might be my favorite. But I have something to admit. See this branch right here? I'm like, well, you don't cut apples on branches. And where's the stem? Then I realized, oh, that's a cut apple, and this is sitting back behind it. So the cut apple is straight up and down, and then the branch is at an angle, which I think is the correct way. Somehow I still like this one. Well, now that I know the error in my ways, I don't know. I still like it, yes, but just an FYI. And even looking on the box, it is just sitting there straight. So just an FYI. Okay, so you ready to get started? I have one more idea for a different layout, using all the same product, just a little bit different. And I took a picture, put it on my phone so that I can remember the layout. So today we will be using gingham ribbon, black and white, iridescent pearls. Here's the papers, my handy little color chart. You know when you have the blends and they're sitting over there in their nice container? Are you ever thinking, okay, what color is that really? Just putting them on, well, this is interesting. This is the cutout, what was to be discarded. But I'm like, well, what colors go together? And I tried making like a green apple with a little bit of yellow and coral. To me, that's looking like a rainbow apple. That just didn't work out. And then I thought, well, what about, because I Googled, what does an apple look like? And then I went from the dark cherries to the yellows. Yeah, it didn't work out. So this one I did cherries to, I think that's real red. That's okay. I used that combo. And then from cherry to sorbet, I really like that, even though sorbet is a little bit of a pink. And then finally, I also used cherry to poppy parade. And sometimes I omitted the lighter cherry dark, cherry light, poppy parade, dark poppy parade light. I took out the light cherry, and I like that combo. But sometimes it's just good to play on a piece of paper to see, once it gets to coloring the apple, what can I really do? Of course they blend beautifully, but sometimes it's just a little bit too rainbow. Okay, so there's that. Apple Harvest is on page 38 of the catalog. $24 for all of that. And it stamps beautifully. And then I also used the Zany Zoo designer paper. And this is the one that has all those adorable animals on it. And the back side of all of it is black and white, which is very convenient for us. And of course the papers that we're using today, I pulled them out. But this is a great product suite. This suite you don't even need the stamp set. You could just cut those cute little critters. Aren't they fun? So we'll be using that paper. And I love that it's black and white. I seem to use that a lot. Okay, let's get started. So for the words, let's do thanks for your kindness. And this whole project, everything uses Memento ink, which is very convenient. Thanks for your kindness. Put that right in the middle. Oh, and I'll tell you the dies I use here in just a minute. Perfect. Probably should stamp all these other little bits too. Okay. Oh, and I have some, don't do what I did. Let me go through those. So when you're coloring at the blends, coloring on Stampin' Up! The white paper works beautifully, just as we planned. Coloring on colored cardstock, because the cardstock is a little bit more coarse, it just drinks up the liquid and it has a tendency to smear. So I was trying to do it just really soft little swooshes, and it still got all smeary. So that was a challenge. What else? Oh, this one. Oh, there's two of them in here. This is my cut in half apple. This is a cut in half apple. This one I wished I stamped it lower, because when it's up this high, see how high up it is? Where are you going to put your words? And putting your words down here and having the stem that ends right there, I don't know, it's better to stamp it lower. Works out better. And, oh, this is interesting. See that little smudge right there? And I was thinking, oh, the words would cover it up and after I color the flower. But that little smudge, it says just for you, that happened because I stamped, put the dye on it, and ran it through. The Memento ink was still wet, so you have to be careful of that too. There's all kinds of little things we got to watch for. Okay, so went through all those. Let's get this one cut. And this is from the Daisy dies. Oh, I told you I was going to tell you what dies. I'll show you. Okay, cut that out. Right here. So only 2 die sets. Scallop contours for this scallop shape right here. The scallop rectangle. And cheerful daisies for the word label. Okay. So that's ready. Oh, you know, I need another for the scallop. I have papers over here ready to go. Scallop contour paper. So let's do that. Let's put the apple on it. Oh, I should have a plan. Let's stamp it. So there's 3 different choices with this stamp set for images. Well, actually, there's more than that. So for apples, you could have the full bunch with 4 apples on it, or you can have the cut in half apple with the branch behind it, or you could have the single apple. These little apple blossoms are adorable. So let's do, because I haven't done it yet, let's do this big one. And wait till you see how this stamps. I don't know if it's just because I took a little break from doing stuff, but this just turns out so pretty. And I think it's because the apple edge and leaf edge are just a little bit bold. I don't know, but you'll see. And I need to come up with a plan of where are my words going to go. Because remember on that one how I put it up to, the image up too high, so I couldn't put the words up high to cover up the end of the stem? Or do you want words low? So when you look at all these, I stamped the apples low, allowing room for the words. This one, I did it off to the side, and a straight apple sitting on the tabletop. And then the singular one, I kind of covered up all my pretty coloring, but in some ways I like that. Just because it brings your eye all in, this is where you look. Where if you have stuff all over the place, you're like, oh, look at all that pretty. Okay, I have a plan. It's going to go right in the middle. And yes, the stem will show. Right in the middle. Okay, wait till you see how pretty this is. And tell me if it's just because I took a little break from stamping. But isn't that just perfect? I know in Stampin' Up! World, Cling, the red rubber, they say it stamps maybe just a little bit better than polymer. Or maybe I've just been using polymer a lot lately. But for some reason, this brings me joy. I love it. I'll keep that. Okay, so this is right in the middle. And I'm looking at how much space is here and here. And you're like, you're cutting off the tip of the leaves. But with this die, it'll have the little stitched edge, but it doesn't cut it until it gets to the scallop. And I'm fine with the stitched edge going over the apple leaves. Okay, so I have a plan for this one. Some ways it makes me cringe a bit, but you'll see. Okay, there it is. Hold on. I have, in my photos, I have an idea of the layout. I put it somewhere right there. Okay, so let's get to building this card. Not too many pieces. Sometimes there's a lot of pieces. Thick white cardstock. And I'll put all the paper cut sizes on my blog. And my blog is jillybling.com. And the paper cut sizes are way down at the bottom. And in the description of the video and also on my blog, I will put all the products used to make this card. These are inside papers. This, that. So I will attach this. Look how cute. So on one of the cards, I added a little bit of color to the black and white paper. And that is this one here. I added some Parakeet Party marker. And I purposely didn't do it real tidy. I did it just kind of crazy. Just a little hint of color. But this one, I started to add color. It's like, oh, that's getting too distracting. Okay, so there's that. This could get stuck down. So Tony's having dentist work done. Hate to admit it, he hasn't been in a while, but he went, had cleaning, and then had deep cleaning, had a checkup, and he had, I guess, a root canal years ago, and he broke the peg or whatever it is way down in there. So guess what he's having done today? He's having the whole thing yanked out. Yikes. He doesn't seem to care. He goes, well, we'll need to go out somewhere so I can eat soft food. I'm like, oh, okay. This is bugging me that they're cut just a little different. I don't know if you could see that. Yeah. You know how some people are. Just gotta make it good. So I'm just gonna, with my snips, just take off, what is that, like a 64th of an inch? It makes all the difference. Okay, get a little more glue back on there. So he's thinking about, oh, we need to go out. And normally during the week we go out. We go to family dinner every Sunday, or we go out Sunday. But other than that, we don't go out that much. So for him to want to go out, okay. But he goes, let's go to that Hawaiian place because they do rice or noodles, and I want to do the one with Spam on it, rice or noodles, and an egg on top. He goes, you know I have to eat soft food. I'm like, okay, well, we'll go there. Oh, and then he got all, I'm not concentrating. Okay, this one I'm going to color in because I have two olive ones. I'll finish my story in a minute. So this is the parakeet one. Okay, don't let this make you cringe. It's going to go right over here, over the top. Yeah. And with the magic of TV, watch this. Yay! You're like, are you really going to cover up those cute apples? Yeah. But with my little plan, it doesn't look so bad. And then we'll do the inside, and I'll show you about coloring. One time I didn't color anything, and somebody's like, well, we kind of want to see how you got those colors so vibrant. So we can color on the inside in just a minute. So, so he wants to go to Lanimoku, I think that's the name of it, for dinner. Okay. But he goes, and then I'm going to get a Dutch freeze, a blended 911 for lunch. I'm like, oh, okay. He goes, because I could just drink that. Yeah. See, it doesn't look too bad. And then I'm going to add the ribbon. So he's going to be amped up. What's new, huh? So to do the ribbon, I'm going to do it in a ziggle-zaggle. This could get closed up for now. So, to do, that one has a smear on it. Okay. It's like, oh, they both look good. It's that stamp set. It works good. Maybe it's because that's a brand new ink pad too. I don't know. So, ziggle, zaggle. Ziggle, zaggle. There it is. Okay, that's how it's going to be. It's going to be the best one yet. The back of my head I'm saying, I don't know, it took a while to color that. And I'll put dimensionals on here. Trying to cover up all the sticky from the Stampin' Seal. There it is. Okay, so that is going to go. I like the detail in this. Right about there. Oop. Oh no, that's good. Maybe I'll put a dimensional underneath the scallop rectangle because it's kind of, says I'm carrying a load right here. Give me a little bit of help. Okay. And a little bit of sparkle. Iridescent pearls. I love these things. Ooh, this is a new pack for special today. So I'll do one big one and two little ones. Well, that's pretty. One. I also like the way that there's the black here and then it's balanced out by the black over there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's do the inside. Thanks for your kindness. Then there's one something about friend and gift and... Okay. All of y'all. There you go. The greatest gift is a good friend. That's nice. And what apple should we put on the inside? Should I put that one? This one? That's not... You know what? I'm going to do that off to the side. I didn't plan the inside. And maybe I'll do it with the stem end off the paper. Okay, Ruby, I'm going to stamp a little bit on the cherry liner paper, but it's okay. I can flip it over. Every time I do that, Ruby always comments, you know you got ink there. Okay, this one's going to stamp perfect. I'm trying to get the stem end off the edge. Just like that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, the friend. Hope you are feeling better. Here's a friend one. Never used. Okay. Probably should test it. Ooh, that's pretty. Perfect. Maybe a little crooked. Should I try it again? It looks like it's going downhill. I'll try the words one more time, and if I get them straighter, then I'll stamp the apple again. If I don't, I'll pretend like I didn't notice they were crooked. Okay, so that looks straight. Before I was dropping down, I'm shifting it up just a little bit. That's better. Okay, apple. So this apple branch has apple blossoms on it, which makes me think maybe it's a springtime thing. But if you have a full mature apple, that's a different time of year than apple blossoms. So, apples come in the fall, blossoms come in the spring. I think on one of them I put little flowers. Oh, this one here. Oh, that's another thing. Is the flowers, because they're, I looked it up, they usually have like a bright, probably flirty flamingo would be better, a brighter pink to them. And because they have the white edge, it kind of got lost. So I put smoky slate light around each of the little flowers, and then I did color lifter to kind of soften that edge. So I love how that turned out. And then on one of these, it was a study in let's not do any blending. Because some of you are like, I don't know how to do all that coloring and all that blending. So this one, the leaves, I colored them in olive light. Then I did olive dark for the veins. For the outline around the apple, and actually around everything here, is in seafoam light. And I didn't do any blending on that one. I probably should do it on the inside too. That turned out pretty. Hope you're feeling better. Okay, I got distracted. So if you use the flower, you could do that little trace around the outside, but that's an extra step. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. Okay, this does look good, even though the words are covering up all the beautifulness. It's okay still. So for this one, I'll use the same colors, which are, I get all this stuff all crowding me. Poppy, Light, Poppy, Dark, Parakeet Party, and Pecan Pie, and Cherry. So the apple will have, and you know, I'm going to try to make this easy, well, for coloring. Because there's not much showing here, I don't know if I could effectively do that. I'll try just a minute. So I'm doing the cherry dark, where I think there might be shadows, maybe along here. Okay, and then next is Poppy Dark, and I probably should have done that apple too. Yeah, these are kind of small areas. So just thinking, where do I want the Poppy Light, which will be like where the sun is hitting it? Poppy Light is going to be this circle right here. So, because that's going to all be Poppy Light, this is just going to be Poppy Dark. And fill it in right out to that cherry blend, the blends. A little bit of blending. I think it might work better on a leaf. And then I'm trying to make it easy so that you're not nervous about coloring. Oop, I got some poppy on the stem. Okay, so I filled that all in. Second layer, and then right along the seam. Okay, let's do the other apple. This is going to be a lot of cherry dark because there's not much showing. So cherry dark, cherry dark, poppy dark, and I'll leave the rest to be poppy light. And another thing I found coloring with the blends is if you work on just one little image, like one leaf at a time, because there's still a little bit of moisture remaining after you color your first color, it kind of blends a little bit on its own. So I will show you what I mean by doing the leaf. I'll do this leaf and that leaf. So this is Parakeet Dark. So I'll do it where I want the dark, like around the edges. And see how I'm allowing room for the parakeet light? Trying to do two layers of color. Okay, then parakeet light. So fill in the hole. And you could just leave it like that. Do a second layer, filling in the hole. And then where there's a seam, like you can see that's dark and that's light, just take the marker and go along the seam. Okay, let's do that again over here. Parakeet Dark. Do it around the edges. Now do two layers of this. Okay, here's the second layer. Okay, and then I'll fill in the rest of the leaf with parakeet light. Okay, layer one, layer two, and then I'll go right along that edge of the light and the dark. Okay, now pecan pie. I'll do it in dark first, where I think there might be shadows. I'm allowing a little bit of room for pecan light. Then, second layer. Okay, and pecan light to fill it in. There's not much left to fill in. Just a little bit of blending. Okay, and then the apple. So I colored it 2 times. One of them, like on previous cards. This one, for the white of the apple, the inside of the apple, I did petal pink light, just to give it a hint of color. And then on this one, well, I think I like this one. This one I did, oh, it's one of the skin tone colors. I think it is SU 800, just to put a hint of color on there. And I came up with that color from thinking, okay, when you bite into an apple, I know it's white, but there's just a hint of color. And I thought the 800 would look good. This one, oh, how about if I do SU? That's kind of brown though. I don't want it brown. I want it fresh. The other one I did seafoam, I think. Oh no, I did petal pink. Oh, the petal pink looks good. And you know what? I need a color for the flowers. Petal pink it is. Petal pink. Okay, and then the seeds, I'll do those in pecan light. Because you know how the seeds are probably like almost black. Okay, and then the fruit, the apple, just a little bit of color. And I could take the color lifter, but it'll dry lighter than what it shows at first. And then just a hint of color on the apple blossom. So this is petal dark. Then I'll soften it up with petal light. Okay, I think that's it. Coloring. I like how that one came out. Oh, I had to flip this over because I had Memento ink on it. Right there. Okay, so that's it for today's project. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. I appreciate that. And I hope you have a great day. And I hope you love the stamp set. Bye.